Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Dyslexic Reader. Today we are going to be doing the TBR tag. I saw this on Problems of a Book Nerd, which I'll link down below. I thought this would be an interesting video to do because I don't really work my TBR in a conventional way, so I wanted to see how much of the questions that I could actually answer and hopefully tell you guys a little bit more about how I work things. Question 1. How do you keep track of your TBR pile? So on my bookshelves I have a couple of shelves, and the top one is all the books that I own that I haven't read yet, and then I have also my Goodreads shelf. I have 2 TBRs on Goodreads. I just have a general TBR, and then the ones that I own, so if I'm out and about or whatever I can look quickly and see the ones that I own that I haven't read. Question 2. Is your TBR mostly print or ebook? Mostly print. I do have a Kindle and I do use it when I'm travelling and things, but I'm not an avid Kindle user, and most of the books that I have on my Kindle are free. I'm subscribed to a number of different services that email you and let you know books on your genres that you pick out when they're marked down as free or extremely discounted, and I normally just have a flick through that, and if anything catches my eye I'll get it. I never spend more than £1 on a book, and I'll never choose a Kindle book. I have built up a lot of free ones over the years and I do read at them, but mostly print. Question 3. How do you determine which book from your TBR to read next? On my top shelf I have my TBR shelf, and then on my bottom shelf I have a little nook that I keep for all my library books, and I tend to try and read all my library books first, and then if I read all my library books and I need something to read between being able to take them back and get new ones, then I'll move on to the books that I own, unless there's something I really want to read. So normally I just go to my little library section and I just pick whatever grabs my fancy, and if I'm not feeling any of those I'll just go to the top shelf, which is my own ones, and just pick by mood really. Question 4. What book has been on your TBR list the longest? Physical books that I own that has been on there the longest is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I've owned this since before Christmas last year, about November 2016. It's the book that's actually been along there the longest. I've had books on my mental note TBR for longer, but actual physical books that I own that I haven't read, this one's the longest. I'm waiting to feel it. What book was most recently added to your TBR? That would be Lemons by Marissa Savage. I saw this recommended on Richard's channel over at Richard's Book Nook, and I think it sounds amazing, and I saw him a couple of days ago doing a video about that and I instantly put it on my Goodreads TBR list. Question 6. A book in your TBR that you strictly got just because of the cover. I'm not gonna lie, Carval by Stephanie Garber, I don't think I need to see any more. The plot of this does intrigue me. I would never buy a book just because of cover. The plot of this definitely does intrigue me, but the cover tipped it over the edge. Book 7. A book on your TBR that you never plan on reading. I don't have this. It's on my TBR because I want to read it. But looking at them today, the one that I was feeling the least enthused about would be The Book Thief. I have been wanting this, to read this for a while, but I picked it up second hand about a month or so ago, because I know I have really wanted to read it, and I know I will really want to read it in the future, but I'm not feeling it at the minute. But I saw it second hand cheap and I had to pick it up. But this is probably the book that I am least enthused to read at the minute. An unpublished book on your TBR that you're excited for. I don't do this. I'm not very good at keeping up to what's being released. unless I see a video on it in BookTube, but sort of current releases isn't something that I look for in books. I look in second-hand shops and charity shops. I look online and use a lot of second-hand websites. So new releases don't really come up that often, and I'm not really one for going into Waterstones or Easons and browsing the new releases, and I don't really keep up with that sort of thing. A book on your TBR that basically everyone's read but you. I'm not, as I said, not into like current releases, and I wouldn't be into like popular books necessarily, but on my shelf the only classic that I own that I have yet to read is Frankenstein, which I'm hoping to get round to reading very soon. Yeah, I think I'll read it. I think I'll read it in the summer. I don't think I'll wait until the autumn time. I think I'll get through this. It's a bit of a boring basic cover, but again, second-hand books, you can't beat them. A book on your TBR that everyone recommends to you. I don't really get many recommendations. I don't have many family or friends in my life who, if they read, they don't read the same sort of things as me. And online, like chatting with my friends on BookTube or Twitter or whatever, I'll get a few like suggestions, or I'll see that they really like something and I know that I will, but I don't really get many direct recommendations for books. A book on your TBR that you're dying to read. The Chronicles of Prydain by Lloyd Alexander. One of my favourite Disney movies is The Black Cauldron. I did not know that A, this was a book, and B, this was a series of books until recently. So I was slowly building up, looking out on second-hand stores and online as well to try and find this specific series. And I just recently got like the last one. I think the fourth one was the one that I found hardest to find, but I recently picked it up and I have the full series, so I'm going to binge read these very soon. How many books on your TBR shelf? I have between, I'm guessing, I didn't sit and count them, I'm guessing between 20 and 30 physical books that I own that I have not read yet, so that should stop me from buying books for a while unless I see something I really, really like. And on Goodreads, I only have about 15 books that I want to read and do not own, and that's mostly because they are, I say I'm not into newer releases, but they are newer releases like out in the last couple of years, so either my library or second-hand book sellers don't have them in yet, so I'm just waiting for them to come round to buy them. I've seen videos like this where people say they have like 70 books that they've owned that they haven't read and like 200 in their TBR, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I could never cope with that mentally. I don't plan ahead in reading. I go to the library without books in mind and I pick up what book draws me to it, and I only lift 2 or 3 books at a time and I read them, and then I go back to the library after a week and do the same thing all over again. So I hope that's helped you to learn a little bit more about how I organise my reading and plan out my reading, i.e. I don't. I hope you're all happy, I hope you're all healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.